But there's no like vetting process in terms of your skills as a politician, or absolutely not even an iota paid to. Is this person a reasonably capable administrator? And the Eric Adams story is kind of similar in New York City. And lest anybody thinks that this is some sort of racist adjacent screed, no, I think the fact that you've got to be one color is racist, and you've got to kowtow to the progressive agenda. I mean, if you wanted like a brilliant person of color in New York City or Chicago, there's more of them than can fill every office in the government. You can have an incredibly bright and competent government, but it's not about competence, it's about fealty to the progressive power structure. And so that's how you get an Eric Adams and a Brandon Johnson. So anyway, I want to get to more of this report in which you hear the mayor of one of the great cities on earth talking. Let's just roll on in order, Michael. 61 now.
Today, Johnson moving forward with construction of a pop-up tent shelter he promised to have by winter. Despite fierce opposition, protests, and lawsuits from folks who live in that South Side neighborhood.
This mayor is acting like a dictator. He needs to go. He must go.
There's no transparency from the mayor. When you think about all the things that we allow to slide, this is another thing that, we just can't allow this to happen.
Roll on.
Asked about protests against migrant shelters across the sanctuary city, including many in predominantly black and heavily Democrat neighborhoods, Johnson is blaming Republicans, anti-black racism, former mayor and fellow Democrat Lori Lightfoot, and right-wing extremists.
We're not going to break away from our value system because right-wing extremism is sowing seeds of discord in this city.
That's what we're leading up to, folks. There he is, the son of the mayor. You got a black man in the city that's run by the Democratic Party. These sanctuaries. Letting all sorts of illegals in. What else are you going to do? And declaring that it's white supremacists and Trump and racism and his predecessor and the Martians and the Spanish conquistadors and is anything else but him and his administration that's at fault. Didn't blame the Biden administration, by the way, which is kind of odd. Well, that's troubling as it gets us further away from solving any problems here. It's absolutely hilarious. Right-wing extremists? There aren't any there. What are you talking about? How weak is that? So yesterday, we go to get a Christmas tree. Like a blazing hot sunny day in Northern California. We're going to go, what are you going to do? Jingle bells. So I'm playing Christmas songs. I dial up classic Christmas music on my streaming service of choice. And it's got all the cherished songs that I grew up with. It occurred to me as I'm singing along to all of them that my kids don't know the words to any of this. None of the classic Christmas songs. And the reason I know the words to all the songs is we sang them in school in Christmas pageant. And so we would sing Deck the Halls and, all of them. Every year I was in some sort of music class where we all got together and sing. My kids don't do that. They've never done it. Not one year of any of their schools. Do they have, you can sign up for some sort of chorus thing that meets after school or whatever, but there's not like a regular, but so what happened to all that stuff? Why are so many of the things that I took when I was a kid they don't have time for anymore, while at the same time you're not learning reading or math? And you are learning about gender-bending madness, right? You could make the argument to me that, well, you only have so many hours in a day, and having the kids all gather for an hour each day to sing, learn to sing a song is not the most important thing in the world. Okay. But we fit that in back when we were learning math and to read. Yeah, well, it's very simple. We've gone from a country that is in the high 90% Christian to a country with many more faiths. Okay, well, and a hypersensitivity to people getting offended.
Well, don't get hung up on the Christmas songs, because then I can make that argument that you just made. Other songs, we had other pageants, or other music things we'd have where the parents would come on and sing different kinds of stuff. But they don't do that anymore. So there's an hour a day, a full hour, that I did, every grade up until, I don't know what grade. There's a full hour. What is being done with that hour now?
Well, do you mean like music education or preparing for a pageant?
Well, just like music class, where you went and sat down and sang. We did that every day, my whole life of grade school. They don't do that anymore. So what are they doing instead? That's my question. Meanwhile, the kids are less likely
and can't do math.
Right.
But they know all about the genderbread versus. That takes time. That stuff takes time.
Yeah, but
right there.
I feel like they're working that into all the other classes. They work that into social studies and all that. But does anybody know, like, what replaced some of that art class? My kids don't have a regular art class. We had art every day. Yeah. How did we learn reading and math and have an art class and a music class every day?
It's, that answer is a little more complicated. It has to do with the vast majority of families were intact and kids showed up at school already knowing how to read because their parents would read to them. The fact that the kids sat quietly to the extent that they could, they paid attention. They respected their teachers. They would run around like crazy at recess, blow off steam so they could learn more effectively. There's just a lot that's changed for the worse.
I guess you'd have to be an older teacher or a school administrator of some kind to be able to answer this question. But if you're old enough to have, grown up when school was like I just described, and now you're working at a school, what replaced that stuff? I just am confused by it.
I also think a major factor is that almost universally in the United States, our culture rewarded learning and achievement. It was expected of you, it was admired, it was encouraged in every kid, no matter what they look like. That is not the case today.
One of the reasons my kids, at least, aren't real thrilled about going to school is I feel like there's less fun stuff going on. I mean, music class was a nice break. Art class was a nice break from the other stuff. They don't have breaks for stuff like that. It's all some kind of academic. But I'm exactly sure.
I'm sure a lot of teachers would point out the concept of teaching to the test, no child left behind, standardized testing becoming ubiquitous, that sort of thing. If the schools don't get certain test scores, they get in trouble. And they'll just keep drilling on the stuff that's going to be on the standardized achievement test. And I'm not against standardized achievement tests exactly, but is there an over-emphasis on them? Yeah, maybe. Love to hear from educators. If you want to drop us an email, mailbag@armstrongandgetty.com.
Yeah, or you can text. Maybe we'll answer this tomorrow when we get some emails and texts. But it just occurred to me. The reason I know the words to all these songs is we did it in the school. Anyway, text line 415-295-KFTC. The news coverage over the weekend, I feel like the shift toward blaming Israel for things is really accelerating in the last 72 hours since we were last on. I don't know where this is going. Among other things we can talk about there.
Armstrong and Getty.
Boy, there's some great deals at Best RV Center. Holy cow, the end of the year liquidation event is going on now through the end of the year. They're clearing out the 2023 models. Everything must go. All inventory is below 50% MSRP, which means thousands of dollars below cost.
That is something. Best RV is something. They are the best RV. Lots of people say they're the best soda, the best this, the best that. Who's to say? But Best RV is the best RV. It's the #1 RV dealer in the entire state of California. Has been for going on. And right now, all inventory on 2023 is 50% below MSRP. That's really
Impressive, and the selection is just astounding. Whether you're looking for a really beautiful, elaborate motorhome or a very affordable tent camper or a traditional
mental health epidemic in California continues to overwhelm the behavioral health workforce, which impacts the delivery of mental health services. With half of our children and adolescents struggling with varying degrees of mental health challenges, getting proper support has become more difficult than ever. But that's about to change. California Time to Spread the Wealth, sponsored by California Department of Healthcare Access and Information.
Hi, I'm Henry Whistler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed today. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Appellant, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. Struggle with vision loss. Make me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at the door. For others, blurring or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at GAWon'tWait.com. That's GAWon'tWait.com.
Did you know there's a way to outsmart COVID if you get it? Now there are medicines that can treat COVID, whether or not you've been vaccinated, which is great news, especially if you're over 50. If taken in the first 5 days of having symptoms, COVID medicines can help stop the illness from getting serious. Call a healthcare provider or the statewide COVID hotline at 833-422-4255 to learn more about COVID medicine. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And if you've even thought of replacing your old, outdated, inefficient window, now is the time to take action. Right now at Bell Brothers, when you buy one window, you'll get the second one for 30% off. That's right, buy one, get the second one 30% off. That's real savings, up to $6,000. You have to buy at least 4 windows to qualify, and you can't mix windows and doors. But beyond that, every second
Stop
window is
sign
30% off.
not doesn't mean
For
stop
example, when
for
you
the
buy
rest of
10
your
windows,
life.
You will get 5 windows
Stupid
at 30% off.
people in
We also
Napa.
have 0% interest financing available for
Yeah, so
qualified
stop
buyers.
doesn't
Call for
mean
details.
stop
To
forever.
take advantage of our buy one, get one 30% off. Call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1634 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuide.com.
Hey, Sean Kennedy here from my friends at Lone Star Transfer. And had the pleasure of helping thousands legally and permanently get out of their never-ending timeshare fees. Now, Lone Star Transfer guarantees the release of all liability to your timeshare in writing. Call my good friends for a free, no-obligation consultation. 833-594-0075. They're online at Lone Star.
From your first sunrise to the sunset of life, we are with you through life's journey. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. Visit Social Security. Introducing U.S. Taxpayer Expense.
I'm working at a job that I love.
Because I was given a chance.
Show the mind stability.
It's only one part of who I am. Who I am.
For more information, visit whatcanyoudocampaign.org. The Armstrong and Getty Show.
This machine can create nearly the coldest conditions in the universe at about 460 degrees below zero. In that environment, a radically new kind of computer may change civilization as we know it.
We're looking at a race between China, between IBM, Google, Microsoft, Honeywell, because the nation or company that does this will rule the world economy. Oh boy, so another giant, fast-changing aspect of life that's the competition between us and China, and
how does the world react to the economy and kids today?
Well, I've been bored. We needed a shockwave. Come on.
Right, exactly. AI's not enough, modern diseases, or the rise of China. We needed a new kind of computing that changes everything. Whoever gets it first will rule the world. Well, fantastic.
Did you see what Eric Schmidt, the former head guy at Google, said the other day?
No.
He said he likened the current state of AI development to the post-World War II era's handling of nuclear weapons, noting the lengthy process to establish treaties and regulations back then, saying essentially it could be every bit as dangerous.
Right? Combine that with this new computing? Awesome.
So ChatGPT is going to go from writing my resume for me to annihilating humankind. Bastard.
I've got a George Santos update for you.
I'm sure it's madcap.
It's kind of funny. He's selling personal videos for $150 each. You can go on one of those websites and have him cut a personal video for you for $150.
We're doing this today.
We really should. Anson, get on that. If I had any of the kind of friends that would enjoy this sort of thing, having a birthday soon, I would be calling. I would be saying that. I'm George Santos.
Wow. And it's a videotape, too. It's not audio?
It says video.
Wow.
Well, he's in a bit of a desperate situation.
Hi, this is George Santos, and I honestly really care about your birthday.
I thought the opening of Saturday Night Live mocking was pretty funny when that, the dude playing Santos said, if I'm guilty of anything, it's loving too much, / fraud. Yeah, speaking of fraud, fraudulent sandwiches. We've talked about this many times over the years. There's a big court case a while back about what a sandwich is or not, and you might think, how'd you end up with that? Well, there was zoning somewhere where you could only have one sandwich shop in this little strip mall, and somebody opened up a burrito place, and the guy with the sandwich shop said, he can't be over there. There's only one sandwich shop allowed here, and that's a sandwich. And the guy said, no, it's not a sandwich, it's a burrito.
Number one, the fact that the government is involved in this on any level is idiotic and un-American. But go on.
So the court actually got involved in a rule in that particular case that a burrito was not a sandwich. But so somehow my kids and I got on this topic because I've always thought it was funny, and I started looking into it. Under this definition as dictated by common sense, this court finds that the term sandwich is not commonly understood to include burritos, tacos, and quesadillas. I would agree that not commonly understood is correct. But the USDA says a sandwich is meat between two slices of bread.
Thank you.
Which makes it obviously more complicated. Also on the USDA, a burrito is a sandwich-like product, which gets a little complicated. As long as the strips of meat in question come bundled in a tortilla. Another section of the ruling lists hot dogs and hamburgers as examples of sandwich-type products when laying out inspection policies for prepackaged dinners. I guess a hamburger and a hot dog are, well, I don't know how in the world you make the argument that a hamburger is not a sandwich, but a hot dog even. So if the bun is connected at that little hinge place, right, it's not a sandwich, but if you unhinged it, which I hate that would be a sandwich, I guess, meat between two pieces of bread.
Right, and you ignoramuses who have been opposing me through the years on my stance that the taco is indeed the delicious Mexican sandwich that we all enjoy. Here come up and... So if you're having a hard shell taco and it cracks at the moment they're disconnected there at the juncture there, the joint part of the taco, then it becomes a sandwich? Or it's not a sandwich if you take one piece of bread and fold it over meat? It's clearly a sandwich.
Is a taco shell a bread-like product? Oh, sure it is. Of course it is. Cracker-like product. In New York, they have a different way of looking at it. If it's served on something remotely bread-like, it's a sandwich. New York is less discriminatory on sandwiches as practically anywhere in the United States.
Hanson points out that virtually every sub shop, well, many sub shops, including Subway, the sandwich